Imagine building a city, a tiny one, a microscopic one, thousands of them on your fingertip. You don't need a crane for this. You need a pen, a magic pen. Okay, so let's get into it. This whole thing, this massive tech war, it really comes down to just one thing. Who has the magic pen? So what is this magic pen? Well, think of it this way. A modern chip is basically a super detailed drawing, a tiny city map. The pen is the machine that draws it. It uses this special light, extreme ultraviolet, or EUV, to carve those little city maps onto silicon. And the rule is simple. The smaller the drawing, the smarter the chip. Now, there are really two kinds of pens. For a long time, we used a thick one. It was called DUV. Think of it like a good marker. It got the job done. But for the future, for real AI, for the phone you're holding right now, you need a super fine pen. That's EUV. It's not a marker. It's a pen with a tip that's basically the size of an atom. It's a huge difference. Just how fine are we talking here? 3 nanometers. That's the size of the drawings on the best chips today. Sounds small, right? Well, get this. A single human hair is about 20,000 times thicker. 20,000 times. We are literally drawing things with light that are almost too small to even imagine. And here's the kicker. This is the most important part. There's only one company in the entire world that makes this magic pen. Just one. A company in the Netherlands called ASML. They have a total, absolute monopoly. So if you want to play in the big leagues, if you want to make the best chips, you have to go to them. No other option. So you can probably see where this is going, right? That monopoly is where the story gets really interesting, because China desperately needs this pen for its future, but a giant wall just went up, and they're on the other side. And that wall is a ban. It started back in 2018. The US government basically told the Netherlands, hey, stop selling those fancy EUV machines to China. And they did. But it didn't stop there. By 2022, the ban got bigger. It included the older DUV machines, design software, even key chemicals. It became a full-blown technological blockade. The message couldn't have been clearer. The door was slammed shut. Just like that, China was locked out of the future. But China wasn't about to give up, not even close. Instead, they decided to do something absolutely wild. They launched one of the most ambitious, most expensive tech projects anyone has ever seen. Yeah, this came from the very top. It became a mission for the entire country, like a modern-day space race. The goal was simple, but huge. If we can't buy the magic pen, we will build it ourselves, whatever it takes. And when they say whatever it takes, they mean it. The price tag is just staggering. We're talking over $47 billion poured into a giant state fund. And its main job? You guessed it, crack this one problem. To put that number into perspective, just look at this. The amount of money China is spending per year just from this fund makes the R&D budgets of the biggest players, like ASML itself, look tiny. It's a classic strategy, just overwhelm the problem with an insane amount of money. All right, so they've got a blank check and the entire country behind them. But how do you actually do it? How do you build the impossible? Well, they're trying everything. They're taking apart the older machines they already have, trying to reverse engineer them. They're poaching top engineers from ASML with huge bonuses. They're even using shady shell companies to buy parts they're not supposed to have. And the whole thing is kept under wraps with military-level secrecy. And the thing they're trying to build, it's straight out of science fiction. Okay, try to follow this. To make that special magic light, you take a tiny drop of melted tin. A laser hits it and flattens it like a pancake, then a way bigger laser blasts it again. This happens 50,000 times a second. It turns the tin into a plasma that's hotter than the sun, and that's what glows with the EUV light. The level of precision is it's insane. It's like trying to hit a bullet with another bullet. It's that hard. And this really shows you how ambitious this whole thing is. You know how long it took ASML to figure all this out? Almost 20 years. 18 years of grinding work to get it right. And China? They're trying to do it all in less than 10. They're trying to cram 2 decades of development into one. So, the big question is, did it work? After all that money, all that secrecy, did they pull it off? And the answer is, well, it's complicated. It's a yes and a pretty big no. The yes part is huge. News got out that a prototype actually worked. In a secret lab somewhere, they generated EUV light. They did it. They made the magic pen glow. And honestly, that's an achievement that a lot of people thought was just impossible. But here's the no part. Making the light is one thing. Using that light to make perfect chips, that's a whole different ballgame. And this is where the biggest problem comes in. It's a little word called yield. Look at the numbers. An ASML machine gets a yield of over 90%. That means 9 out of 10 chips are good. China's prototype? The yield is maybe 10%. That's not a factory. That's a very, very expensive science fair project.
Let's use an analogy. Think about baking cookies. The ASML machine is like a perfect high-tech oven. You put in 100 cookies, you get 90 perfect ones back. Great. Now China's prototype, it's like a new oven that's totally unreliable. You put in 100 cookies and it burns 90 of them. You only get 10 good ones. So yeah, it works, but you can't run a bakery like that. Until they fix the yield, they just can't compete.
Okay, so this whole thing is way bigger than just chips or cookies. This technological race has huge consequences for the entire world. And it all comes down to this idea, something called the silicon shield. So, right now, if you want the best, most advanced computer chips in the world, you basically have to go to one place, Taiwan. It's incredible. 92% of the world's most powerful chips are made on that one little island. It's wild. And that massive dominance creates what people call the silicon shield. Here's the theory. Nobody, not even China, would risk invading Taiwan. Why? Because if those chip factories were destroyed, it would cause a $10 trillion global economic collapse. The world basically has to protect Taiwan to protect its own economy. And that brings us to the final and honestly, the most chilling question. China's quest for that magic pen? It's not over. They're not there yet, not by a long shot. But they are making progress. So what happens if they succeed? What happens when China can make all the advanced chips it needs? When it doesn't need Taiwan anymore?